Hey, what's going on, everyone? Vega here for SerpentX Tech. Welcome back to another episode of Caffeine and Crypto, where I welcome you to join me with your favorite caffeinated beverage or energy drink or whatever it might be as we go over this week's crypto news. We have a lot of up and downs. We're staying in the same range that we've been talking about for quite some time, before minus disrupt, after minus disrupt, so on and so forth. So we're going to cover some news, obviously, but going to do a little bit of TA right now. Bitcoin sitting around just below 83K, Ethereum back below 1800, XRP above 213, and at the end of the show, we are going to talk about the pie. It's up significantly, 23% today. I think somebody pumped it to try to keep it above 65 cents because the community is upset with the team. One of our favorite content creators did video on it, and another one of our favorite content creators covered it. We're not going to go too much into that live stream, but I do want to share a personal story regarding Pi, the cryptocurrency, the project, so on and so forth. But other news topics we're going to talk about, obviously, is what's going on. The market, being hit, the traditional market being hit because of the Trump tariffs, a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt, or FUD. How Bitcoin's holding a certain level, but April 15th, there's a little bit of a warning from Arthur Hayes. Volume spikes or notable spikes. How Bitcoin correlation to stocks is showing signs of breaking, which is good news. The slide down, right, due to the current market conditions, market meltdowns. Traders prepare for rally to 100K for Bitcoin. Decoupling. Gold leads BTC. Trends take shape. Fed decision. Powell says that tariffs could delay progress on lowering inflation. Still a battle that the Fed needs to continue to fight. Don't know yet when that rate cut might come, but I'm thinking more Q4 2025. And then altcoins are set for one last big rally, but a few will benefit. So not every altcoin will benefit during the rally, but something is coming eventually. The trigger that could cause the next alt season, wrapping up with a little bit of crypto world news as we lead into Red Panda mining, and of course the personal story regarding Pi Network and the experience had by a family member. So yeah, lots of cool stuff to go over. I hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you are. Thank you so much for stopping by, Zapirate, Son of Rabbit Panda, and everyone else who's watching over X, Twitch, and YouTube. Let's look at the charts real quick. You can see, I have a feeling a big move is going to happen this week. Either we're going to fall further, or we're going to push up above this resistance that we got going on here, because we're kind of stuck, right? We've been bouncing around here for... Well, this is on the daily, so it's only been for like the past week, but you can see this range that we're kind of been chilling in. Especially if I zoom out, it was between what, 100K and 98K for a while there, or 100K and 95, 94K, and now ever since back here, I've been kind of just chilling between 80, 86, 83. 87, 83, 85, 82, and now 84.5 is the top of that range. So can we break out of it? I hope so. I don't want to see us fall, but as we've talked about in past live streams, there's a chance that we could. And that's why I have targets at 78K, 76K, 74K, with the bottom possibly being 73.5 or 72K. But I would just, me personally, my strategy, not financial advice, just dollar cost average as it dips down. I know a lot of people who got into Bitcoin at 100K because people were saying it's going to go to 1 million. And then when they did, of course, it fell. So they're very upset. But I just told them, just hang on long term, right? Do you need it right now? Do you need the money right now? If you don't need the money right now, hang on to it long term. Plan for your retirement. Plan for your future. Stuff like that. What's up, Sam Fisher? Thank you so much for stopping by. You have a blessed day as well. Moving on to news. Bitcoin holds firm as stock loses $5 trillion in record Trump tariff sell-off, right? Bitcoin's resilience to the record 5 trillion sell-off signals an evolution in Bitcoin's market positioning that may fortify Bitcoin's status as a hedge against financial instability. Something I do want to point out here is back when Jellyfish Coin, Brandon Coin's project came out, what we saw during the opening weeks, besides some, indecisive action and people selling off on a new token the moment it did something good or hit a high. We also saw that as the market fell, Solana as a whole, people were moving into Jellyfish because it was one of the few coins that were actually pumping in the Solana ecosystem. And the reason I'm bringing that up is I can foresee, right? So Friday, April 4th, you see this green candle. Thursday, April 3rd, you see this green candle, but the Wednesday was pretty red, right? So most of this week was green except for Wednesday and then obviously today, if we count from Monday to Sunday. Sunday was a little bit red, but what I believe and what I saw was that the traditional finance, the stock market, right, while it was faltering and falling and losing 5 trillion, people were moving into Bitcoin, right? And the unfortunate thing, that's what's so concerning about the correlation between TradFi and Bitcoin, is that the suits are in the game now. And so if I'm losing on one, I offset it with the other. And if I'm losing on the other, Bitcoin, I offset it with traditional stocks. Trying to always be ahead, trying to always move forward, whether that's through ETFs, options, whatever it might be. But I really would like the traditional market and Bitcoin to not be correlated at all. Just two separate worlds. And I don't think that's ever going to happen. Now that Bitcoin is becoming more mainstream, more adapted, and banks are going to get involved, large financial institutions are involved. I just think those days are way behind us, which is unfortunate. But by you and I and the regular folk holding our Bitcoin, right, not spending it right now, we should spend it eventually, but not spending it right now, we're taking most of that Bitcoin off the market so that these price moves are more volatile. Whether it's up or down, they're still more volatile because there's less supply out of the 21 million. We already have a decent amount of supply already off the market because of Caesars, the government, the U.S. obviously going to hang on to what they got. Other countries hanging on to what they got. Obviously, Germany didn't do that. They sold their Bitcoin. But if we take it off the market, the ups and downs, can be a little bit more dramatic than anticipated. But it's unfortunate that they're still correlated. I wish they weren't. But anyways, Bitcoin gained renewed attention as a hedge against financial instability, right? Which it is that. It's a hedge against financial instability. It's a hedge against inflation. It's a hedge against blah, blah, blah. So people, see tariffs as an inflationary act when it can be actually the opposite. It depends on a number of variables, right? The products, the market, so on and so forth. There's just a lot of uncertainty and doubt and fear going on that's why the market's taking a hit. But anyways, because of the financial instability after holding relatively steady during the record-breaking stock market downturn that saw 5 trillion wiped off the S&P 500. The S&P 500 posted a 5 trillion loss in market capitalization over the past 2 days, its largest drop on record, surpassing 3.3 trillion decline in March 2020 during the Black Thursday, right? When everything was down. But that amount is not small whatsoever. And if we look at this article was written 2 hours ago. And if we look at the chart, again, we had 2 green, right? So while the market was dipping down, Bitcoin was going up. Not significantly, but it was still going up. Of course, the record sell-offs occurred after DJT announced the tariffs on April 2nd. The measures aim to shrink the country's estimated trade deficit of 1.2 trillion in goods and boost domestic manufacturing. We do need to, I don't agree with everything every single president, not just DJT, does, but we do need to bring stuff back to the states, in my opinion. However, going around and pissing off everybody in the process, and I mean everybody, especially our neighbors, might not be the best way to do it. Now, again, I'm not trying to get political on this channel, but the way I lead or try to lead and the way DJT leads are two different, way different styles. One works for one group and one works for another group. One doesn't work for all. My style may not be inducive of getting you to fall in line, follow my orders, whatever it might be. Same thing with DJT. So I think a little bit more care, and he has changed his demeanor, right? Compared to the first term to now, there's a little bit more refinement there that I see. But he still has that I'm the big dog in the room. I'm going to crush you. You're going to do what I want you to do regardless of what you want to do. And I think having a softer hand, not a white glove, but a softer hand in trying to approach organizations, companies, banks, whatever it might be, could yield better results. What's that saying that the South or the country folks say? You catch more flies with honey, something like that. So again, not trying to sway your opinion, not trying to piss you off, just saying like there's some better ways to attack this. We need to certainly bring manufacturing back to the United States. We need to improve our infrastructure. We need to take care of our debt. We need to focus on the United States. But backhanding Canada and everybody else around us is just going to piss the world off at us. And for being the world police, that's not a good thing, especially since we have to be everywhere in the world at once. Because if shit pops off over here, we might not have all the forces we need over here in order to handle it. And if shit pop offs over here, we might not have all the forces we need over here to handle it. And now we definitely need, I can tell you one thing, people are not joining the military. I talked to some of my colleagues. People are not joining the military for a number of different reasons. And we need to shore up, as a U.S. citizen, right? We need to take care of our military. We need to take care of our veterans. We need to improve infrastructure, and we need to bring manufacturing back home. But is there a way to do all that without deterring young men and women from entering the military force, and without causing any issues among our partners, whether it's NATO, not NATO, a neighbor, not a neighbor, like just trying again catch more flies with honey. My mindset and my approach again does not fit everybody, and I understand that, and I respect your opinion. I hope you respect mine. I'm not trying to piss anybody off. I'm just speaking from my leadership experience in a number of different arenas. Moving on, Bitcoin's dip after the tariff announcement was significantly smaller than traditional markets, proving Bitcoin's growing maturity as a global asset. We were potentially witnessing an evolution of Bitcoin's market positioning, says a co-founder from Cointelegraph, adding, historically, Bitcoin has been strongly correlated with risk assets such as macro shocks. But this divergence might signal an emerging perception shift among investors. Bitcoin's fixed supply architecture inherently contrasts with fiat currencies that may face inflationary pressure under tariff-driven economic changes. While stocks plunged, Bitcoin dipped 3.7% over the same two-day period, trading around 83.6 thousand as of April 5th. Despite the $5 trillion sell-off in traditional markets, Bitcoin shows its worth, staying above 82,000 key support level, a sign that structural demand remains intact even amid forced selling and evaluated volatility. Despite Bitcoin's decoupling from traditional stocks, it hasn't fully decoupled. It's like there, but it's not there. We still got a while to go to see if it actually happens. Its initial plunge in price signals that some investors still see Bitcoin as a risk asset. With Bitcoin ETFs enabling greater institutional exposure, it's now even more influenced by macroeconomic trends. The suits, that's what I mean by suits, right? It's now influenced by greater macroeconomic trends. Again, if I am a day trader, if I am working for a hedge fund, if I'm working for a big organization, if I am losing heavily in the S&P, in the traditional stocks, on the NASDAQ, whatever it might be, I can pivot and move into crypto to offset my losses and improve my gains on that day, on that week, on that month. So that's why, like, I saw the other day something really crazy. I think it was Wednesday, right? It was something Wednesday, right? Let's actually go to the 4 hour and see if we can find it. This candle right here. So Wednesday. You can see, right? You can see Monday opened up good. We pumped pretty good into Tuesday. Had a little bit of a pullback, and we were ready for the next leg up. We made it all the way up to 87. We were ready to push up to 88, get close to 90, maybe chop sideways, pull back a little bit, chop sideways, and move back up. But no, sirree, Bob. No, ma'am. Later on, somebody, huge sale order, caused other bots, auto traders, managers, retail to sell, to get liquidated, whatever it might be. And so now you caused the we were doing good if you would have just chilled out and hung tight. We were doing good. You could have still made your profits, but no, we had a big sale, caused a stir. The rest of the traders followed in that wake. Despite the current lack of momentum, analysts are confident that Bitcoin's upside potential for the rest of 2025. People still believe, right? DJ Mine's going around Mind Disrupt 2025, asking people what they think Bitcoin is going to be at the end of the year. While I didn't get to answer, I did hear others agree that we're still looking at the $120,000 arena for Bitcoin. However, Bitcoin remains resilient amid ongoing uncertainty. Its hard cap supply and decentralized nature could not only strengthen its digital gold narrative, but also position it as even more reliable and more value. The growing money supply could push Bitcoin's price above 132K before the end of 2025, according to estimates from James Couts, chief analyst at Real Vision. Right, and again, I think a lot of people are looking at that. I've been calling for 120, 125 since early last year, 2024, but more people are aligned on that. Moving on. Hang on, we got a couple of things here. Son of Rabbit Panda. And besides not pissing everyone off, never nuke a country twice. Yeah. That's funny. That's funny, but that's not funny. Or buy bonds, as Yusuf puts. The globalists hate crypto. Yeah, that's true. They would buy bonds. I thought Traveling Trader was warning about bonds. If you guys haven't checked out Traveling Trader and you're really into TA, you should check them out. They're pretty good. If Bitcoin holds this level between now and April, Arthur Hayes says we are out of the woods. If we can sustain, right? If we can hold the line, again, I think there's a big move. If you're just now joining us, a big move coming this week. It could be a big move down. And when I mean big move, I'm not talking 30%, 40%, 50%. You know, let's say like a 15 to 20. Right, a 15 to 20 move. Let's take a look at what that would be. Let's say Sunday rolls around. We're still stuck in this range. We'll put it right here in the middle. And let's say Monday comes, Monday, Tuesday, and you can see we don't have much. There's only 3 days, including Sunday. So really, Monday, Tuesday might be the day. If we draw down 15%. That would be a $70,000 Bitcoin. And look at where my legacy lines are, right? 71.3, 71.9. So 72 could be a possibility. I know a lot of people wouldn't be happy with that, but that could be a possibility. But we can also have a big move up, right? We're tightening, we're getting wound up. Bitcoin can't take it anymore, and boom. Now we're looking at an $88,000 Bitcoin. Now we're looking at the top here in $89,000, almost $90,000 Bitcoin, right, over the week. So I'm just expecting a move, and we could just do a small move and just fall out of this support, losing 82, and now stuck on 76, 78 as our next support level. And now 82, 80 has become the resistance. That is very much a possibility as well, which is unfortunate. But Bitcoin eroded market optimism with significant retreat in response to DJT's Liberation Day tariffs. BitMEX founder Arthur Hayes has highlighted a key level to watch amid the rut. Obviously, the anxiety caused in the markets by the current conditions has everybody on edge. While Bitcoin only dropped a certain percentage down to 82,000, the traditional markets, as we said before, lost 5 trillion. According to Arthur Hayes, 76.5 price point is the level to watch for Bitcoin. If Bitcoin can hold 76.5, by the way, is what he say. Now, U.S. tax day, April 15th, then we are out of the woods. Now, we talked about this in the past on the channel about usually when people get their tax returns, they start getting, they pay their bills, they do what they need to. Good morning, buddy. Throughput Money, thank you for stopping by. They usually pay their bills and then they start messing around, right? But a lot of times, especially in the past, they would mess around with meme coins. Well, what I've seen lately, and this is just my personal observation, is a lot of people are buying XRP. And I think there was some big news about XRP as well that I think I have an article on. But yeah, like tax season, I'm pretty sure. Do you guys get your tax return? If you're here in the United States, do you guys in the live chat right now or on X, do you guys get your tax return yet? Or are you still waiting? Moving on, the price level aligns with the 3-month price low Bitcoin hit on March 11th. On March 20th, Hayes speculated that the level was the line in the sand for the asset, suggesting the worst of the recent correction is over and it's unlikely the asset would break down below the level before making a run to new highs. For confirmation of Hayes' analysis, bulls will want to see a strong bounce from the level should Bitcoin retest it. So we're waiting on that retest. Of course, Hayes says that Bitcoin can still get to $250,000 by the end of the year. I think $250,000 is a little bit exuberant. I'm still at the $125,000, $130,000 level. That's where I'm at right now. On Thursday, April 3rd, which is Wednesday, we all talked about the same thing. Everybody being fearful. Mainstream media, markets, everybody saying the same thing. Trump tariffs are bad. I understand how they can be bad. I also understand that tariffs are not always inflationary. It could raise the price on products and it could lower the price on products, but it could also force people, companies that have been making money hand over fist to start building in the country and stop outsourcing for cheap labor, cheap materials, and make it here. Now, you can't make everything here because guess what, baby? We don't have all the materials, right? We're lacking in rare earths. We're lacking in titanium. Guess who has those? Russia. Guess who else has those? Ukraine. Why do you think the deal was the deal that they were trying to do? They need access to those rare earths, right? With TSMC opening up, Intel and making new fabs, we need to improve our infrastructure and we need to find a way to get the resources we need here so we can build things in the States. My Dodge for my wife, built in Mexico, right? Acura, built in Japan. Tesla, most of those were made in China. We need to build stuff back here. And yes, it costs more, right? It costs more to hire people like you and I. I understand that. Companies don't like that. But if you want the pride, right? What happened to the pride? And this is a little bit arrogant. I do apologize for my viewers in a different country. What happened to the pride of making something in your own country? Back in the day, made in America meant something. It did. And that brand, that made in America, people around the world accepted that. Like, this is a good quality product. May not be the best quality, but this is a good quality product. It's going to last me years. Now things aren't made the same. They're meant to die on you after 3, 4, 5 years, so you buy a new one. That there's no pride, at least from my viewpoint. And again, I'm in Florida. That's probably why. If I was in Texas, or if I was in Oklahoma, or if I was in the great state of Indiana, or some of the other states, I probably would be able to witness that pride a little bit more. But we need to start making stuff here in the US. Yes, it's going to cost the companies more to mine here, refine here, process here, and hire here, but you're giving jobs back to the people locally, and you can start working on, you know, improving the quality of your products instead of trying to just make it buy and let it live for 5 years and send it in a dump somewhere. Which, by the way, I hope you guys recycle your products, especially electronics. Anyways, moving on. According to CoinGecko, the price of Bitcoin has barely made any significant move over the last 7 days. However, the piece of data does not tell the entire story, as the premier cryptocurrency made a play for 87K on Wednesday, April 2nd, before recently falling back to 84, now 82. The price of Bitcoin is being closely watched by the market participants, speculators, especially considering the underwhelming performance of the U.S. equities or markets over the past couple days. As the time of writing, the premier cryptocurrency of 84, blah, blah, the single day performance, blah, blah, blah. In a new post on X platform, crypto analyst Martin revealed that Bitcoin bulls might be on the move again. This on-chain observation is based on changes in the taker-buy volume, a metric that measures the total volume of buy orders filled by takers in perpetual swaps of a specific cryptocurrency. In crypto trading context, a taker refers to a market participant who places an order matching with an existing order on the order book. Hence, the taker buy volume indicates the total amount of cryptocurrency purchased by the market participant within a specific period. Martin mentioned in his post that taker buyers are beginning to step into the market and buy volume surpassing significant milestone. According to the on-chain data, the Bitcoin taker buy volume on centralized exchanges recently crossed 100 million BTC to around 101.18 million BTC. Historically, notable upticks in taker buy volume have preceded a bullish surge in Bitcoin price. So this is just one clue, one metric, one data set. That's one. Arthur Hayes says April 15th. We don't have April 15th this week. April 15th is the following week. We had a huge dump on Wednesday, and we're tightening in this range. And the amount of days left in the bottom of this wedge is really Monday, Tuesday. That's it. I don't think we could fit in Wednesday. So my trend line could be wrong. I could be all off, but I think a move is gonna happen this week for sure. That's my prediction. Pure speculation, not financial advice. Bitcoin correlation with stocks shows signs of breaking down, says Bloomberg. We talked about this during the beginning of the stream. If you're just joining us, thank you for stopping by. And then moving on, Bitcoin slides to 81K as Trump tariffs jolt stock market. This is the whole conversation all day, all week. It's been the same thing. Tariffs, tariffs, tariffs. Trump, Trump, Trump. It's just, I just watch racing, right? So I was watching the qualifying highlights for Formula One. I was watching a documentary on Tommy Mäkinen. Like, turn it off. Stop feeding into the fear. Dollar cost average. Enjoy life. But, you know, the S&P took a hit. Coinbase took a hit. MicroStrategy took a hit. Coinbase lost 7%. MicroStrategy lost 10%. Ether fell 6%. Solana fell 11%. Bitcoin was a little bit more resilient. But still, a lot of concern, a lot of fear, a lot of uncertainty reigned supreme. If we go to CoinMarketCap right now, let's see what the fear and greed index is at. 27 still. Unfortunately. Right? And you can see historically, we've been basically in this 20, like I think the low was 19, 15, and the high was 34. So over the past, since March, right? Since we officially hit the bottom here, which look at it, that is the bottom, right? That 15 grade on the fear and greed index had a price for Bitcoin of 78,000 and a volume of 54 billion. That seems like the bottom to me on the fear and greed. So yeah, we might chop sideways, but I think we could climb back up. I think. Again, I'm just a guy on the internet. But yeah, a lot of concern, a lot of uncertainty, man. And it's hard to talk to people about the same conversation over and over again, which is what I'm doing again with you guys, and I apologize for that. But I know most of you that watch this channel are your convictions are not wavered. You're still stacking them sats, you're still growing, you're adapting, you're adjusting, you're trying to do what's best for the overall crypto market and for yourself. And I'm happy to see that. Cryptocurrencies rise Friday, bucking broader market meltdown. What's up, Red Panda? Same thing, talking about how the market fell, how stocks got hit. Meanwhile, spot gold fell 2.4% to $3,000.37 an ounce. Investors were rattled on the second day of China Commerce Ministry Friday said that the country will impose 34% levy on U.S. products. So just tit for tat. That's all that's happening right now. Again, catch more flies with honey, but here we are. Crypto broadly is affected by funding rates and spare capital. If money is being held because of volatility and tariff needs, then it impacts crypto investment, speculation, location. And that's another thing. If people are getting their tax returns, they might not be going and playing around in meme coins. They might be hanging on to that cash, even though their value, that the value of that dollar is being eroded. It's important to recall that U.S. counts for only around 20% of crypto trading, and the world often carries on without the U.S., he added. Bitcoin has already become a ready source of liquidity and has become a canary in the coal mine of sorts as it relates to the global liquidity. It responds first, but also rebounds first. So 20% out of the entire Bitcoin market is not a controlling, it's a decent position, but it's not a controlling position. So the rest of the world will move on, they'll change, they'll adapt. But that's something I saw when we started this big downtrend from way back here. Is I would be going to bed, so the Asia markets were kicking online, and we could see the start of the downtrend. Right, I think there was some economic turmoil and some uncertainty in China, and so you saw the Asia markets, kind of start trading and taking profits, which is their right as well. Bitcoin traders prepare for a 100K rally as Bitcoin decouples from traditional finance. Again, they're saying it's decoupled. I don't think it's decoupled. It looks like it's decoupling, but I don't think it's fully decoupled. So just a heads up. The fresh divergence is fueling gold leads Bitcoin narrative, taking cues from price trends from late 2018 to mid 2019 to predict a strong price recovery towards 100K. Gold being a steady ascent, gaining nearly 15% by mid 2019. Bitcoin remained largely flat. Bitcoin's breakout followed shortly after, rallying over 170% in 2019 and then surging another 344% on late 2020. They're just drawing similarities and basically saying that, yeah, gold is leading right now, but Bitcoin could, have this 2019, 2018 exuberance and just blast off. Bitcoin to gold ratio warns of bull trap. Bitcoin may be eyeing a drop towards 65K, right? That's super bearish on the fractal playing out. Bitcoin gold ratio is flashing a familiar pattern that traders last saw in 2021. The breakdown followed a second major support test at 52W. I'm not sure what that is. Exponential moving average. It's now repeating this fractal and once again testing the red 50 EMA as support. In previous cycle, Bitcoin consolidated around the same EMA level before breaking decisively lower, eventually finding support at the 200. And if history repeats, Bitcoin against gold could be on track for a deeper correction, especially if the macro conditions worsen. Interestingly, the breakdown cycles have coincided with a drop in Bitcoin's value in dollar terms, as shown below. Right, so we are down as far as fiat terms go, but could this actually play out? Well, let's look at the 65K dip. That's a significant dip. So let's see what that would be if we were to have one. I don't think it'll be in one day, but let's say it's over the course of the next 24 days, so April doesn't turn out to be as green as we want. You can see we're hitting this legacy purple line right here, right? This is another super legacy line, and that would be a 20% drawdown. So that's not, again, not out of the realm of impossible, but I was more looking at around 72, 70, and they're saying 65. That's significant. It's not, that would suck, to be brutally honest. That would definitely suck. I do want to make an announcement real quick before I lose any more viewers. I see Retro Mike is not here today. I'm sorry if I pissed him off in however fashion or form. But the announcement is there's a video dropping Wednesday. I need you help sharing it out. It has some of your favorite crypto mining content creators on it. And somebody in that video is doing a giveaway. You have to watch to the end. But there's your hint for you watching right now. Video dropping Wednesday, or plans to drop Wednesday. I still got to edit, create thumbnails, stuff like that. Have a number of content creators that join us in this collab. It is a long form video, about 35-ish minutes. I know. Wow, it's super long. I know. But it was great to hear from everybody, get their perspective. And one of the content creators in the video is doing a giveaway. So watch to the end. Pay attention to the instructions. Make sure to share and like this video on any socials to help, propagate it out to the world. That'll be greatly appreciated. So Jerome Powell says tariffs could delay progress of lowering inflation. The interest rates are still at the 4.25 and 4.5, but policymakers said that they still see 2 rate cuts coming in 2025. Okay, so we're up from 1 to 2. I thought it was just 1. Now we're from 1 to 2. So that's a good thing. Again, rate cut, price go up, rate stays the same or pause, chop sideways, rate goes up, market goes down. So that's a good thing. If we could get 2 rate cuts, that would be cool. But of course, Jerome Powell said good part of the central bank's higher inflation expectations comes from tariffs. He also noted that while economists outside of the Fed have generally raised their estimated likelihood of a recession, a severe downturn still isn't likely. Stocks surged to their highs of the day while Powell spoke at the podium. I think they were speaking at the same time the tariffs were going on, right? But Jerome Powell went on to say that the central bank's forecast for less economic growth and higher inflation in 2025 somewhat offset each other, explaining the fact that the forecast for rate cuts this year stayed at 2. At the December meeting, the median was 2 cuts. So you come in and you see, broadly speaking, weaker growth but higher inflation, and they kind of balance each other out, he said. We don't make such a forecast, right? If you look at the outside forecast, forecasters have generally raised their possibility of recession somewhat, but still relatively moderate level. It has moved up, but not high. So there's still concerns of a recession from some of the majors out there, but Jerome Powell is saying that it's not as likely as they're saying. We got another quote here. Some of it, the answer is clearly some of it, and a good part of it is coming from tariffs. But we'll be working with the other forecasters to separate non-tariff inflation from tariff inflation. Not all tariffs are inflationary. Here we go. Tariffs may delay inflation progress. Fed chair said that we're getting closer and closer to price stability, but the tariffs might lengthen the process. I do think that the arrival of tariff inflation, further progress may be delayed. But however, he says is highly uncertain. So we're just gonna have to wait to see how things go. Your 5090s cost $4,000, even when it's not being scalped. I think the lowest I saw was $2,400, if you could even get it for that amount. But yeah, everything has gone up. Price has gone up on a lot of the products that we like as a crypto mining community. So just mentally prepare yourself and make sure you stack your sats, diversify yourself, and get yourself a cash position. Moving on, altcoins are set. Oh, hey, Retro Mike is here. What's up, buddy? You could win something from me any day, baby. Altcoins are set for one last big rally, but just a few will benefit. Altcoins may have just one last rally this cycle. I don't know when the cycle is. Like, where's the beginning and end of the cycle? I know that altcoin season has been delayed. I know that many of you are suffering because of it. And when I say suffering, I don't mean like in a severe way. Like it's just like, it sucks, right? It sucks. And you're going to see on Wednesday from a video with all your favorite content creators, you know, how they have adapted. But I want to hear from you as well. So wait for that video, but it sucks. And altcoin season would alleviate that, right? They go on to say that I think there will be one more brief, I guess, thrust from altcoins. The question is a sustained rally that we will see for the next 12 months, says Real Vision chief crypto analyst James Cutts. He's in a lot of these articles. At this stage, he says, I'm not too sure, but I do believe that the quality altcoins where activity returns, activity drives price, we would definitely see a recovery in some of these more high quality names. So where activity returns, activity drives price. So activity on the network. So cryptocurrencies that have an active network, maybe new wallets joining, maybe wallets being active in the DeFi space or whatever it might be. If that project does not have or has a small amount of activity on it, that project might not grow along with the others, is what they're basically saying. But they do expect that in June to see altcoins really start picking up again, predicated on the fact that Bitcoin is back at all-time highs by that point. So we need Bitcoin to get back up, sustain, chop sideways, and let the altcoins push up and have a nice little rally. Have Ethereum above 2,500, maybe 3,000 again. Have, you know, Cardano over $1. Have SU over 4 or 5. Have Solana over 280, 250. But they're eyeing June. Let me know what you think wherever you're watching this live stream. What do you think on Twitch, X, YouTube? Do you think June is when altcoin season could take off? If not, what month? And if not at all, let me know. And altcoin indicators are flashing red. Several indicators the crypto industry used to determine income in altcoin season suggest we're still nowhere in sight. Altcoin speculation index has dropped 12, down 53% since dropped down to 12, down 53% since December 25th. Same period during which ETH fell almost 50% from almost 3,500 to where we are now. CoinMarketCap's altcoin season index, which measures top 100, blah, 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 is reading a score of 14 of 100, leaning towards a more Bitcoin-dominated market, referring to Bitcoin season. Rabbit season, duck season. Rabbit season, duck season. Also, people believe that Bitcoin dominance can hit 62.8%. Let's look at the actual Bitcoin dominance. See where we're sitting at. Let's see what the low was. So the lowest altcoin season we had was 13 on March 11th. Now we are up, but you can see that we curved back down to around 15. Now let's move over to Bitcoin dominance. And we are currently, ladies and gentlemen, at 61.9%. We are there. We are there. So will this continue? Well, I'll tell you what. We need it to continue. So this week, if we have that nice leg up, right? If we have that nice leg up, it could be 64, 65%. Bitcoin climbs up to 88 instead of dropping down to 70, 72. Yes, dominance will be up. Altcoins will suffer, but we need Bitcoin to do that. We need the big boy in the room to run in there, smash some heads, clear out the area so that the altcoins can move forward. Here's what could trigger the next altcoin season. We got some speculation here, and I'll check the chat in a second. Bear with me if you are trying to get my attention. Crypto strategist Rec Capital tells their followers on social media platform that altcoin season will start once Bitcoin dominance level or a percentage of that total marketization starts to fall. Well, I tell you what, we just looked at it. It ain't falling. But if we could have Bitcoin again climb up, and they say here 71%, right? So nice leg up, get back to 90ish. I think what they're talking about is now we're making a new all-time high. Bitcoin's at 115,000, marching towards 120, 130, 140, whatever. Then it gets there. It starts to falter. Dominance starts to fall on Bitcoin as people take profits out of Bitcoin, move into altcoins for better gains. Bitcoin's chopping sideways, 150 to 140. Altcoins start to rise up. They're saying that if we see the Bitcoin dominance hit 71%, that's when the beginning of the collapse is going to be. Because you can see from this chart here, that's what happened in the past. We hit 70%, 71%, 1, 2, 3. We obviously were much higher than that in the past, right? Because now the altcoins weren't as prolific as they were back in the earlier days, right? But 71% is a target to keep an eye on. Bitcoin dominance, 71%. That's one metric, one stat to keep an eye on to hopefully root for an altcoin season if you are, in fact, deep into altcoins. But a lot of people are deep into Bitcoin. They don't care about altcoins. They're deep into Bitcoin. But just keep an eye on that metric. Moving on, before I do, let me read live chat. I want to talk about Pi Network and experience with a family member of mine. Red Panda Mining, sending everybody your way here in just a moment. He says that he's recycle, I hoard all. Serpent X, when is the video? Wednesday, my friend. All right, Retro Mike. I'm here, just been quiet, doing my taxes. Okay. Yep, you can win anytime, like I said. I'm not worried about all that crap. X can sometimes do that to you, so don't worry about it. Pay no mind to it. Frozen Crypto, I think it will be September. People are hurting financially right now, and the summer is coming. We have to get through summer first. So Frozen Crypto is looking for an altcoin season in September, while the other person in the other article that we read was in June. Good deal. Red Panda's in bed. Well, you better get up. Start getting ready to live stream, dude. Solana Network couldn't handle Trump coin meme. It crashed it. Yeah, it did. That, Melania, Barron, but that Trump one definitely blew up. I say no because ETH was based on proof of work. I think you're talking to each other. Yeah, there you go. You guys are talking to each other. Thank you so much for stopping by, guys, by the way. Keep conversing. Keep talking. Appreciate you very much. All right. So, well, you're just going to have to watch the video to find out what the giveaway is. So, Pi Network. Brandon Coin covered it. It's an app in which you can invite or refer people to mine with you. You're not actually mining on your phone. It's like you hit a button and it says you're mining and you earn Pi. My sister got into it really early, actually, and then invited me. I didn't like it. I told her it was a scam, but I got involved anyways, just because I would be able to see what she sees if she needed to do something in the app. You see what I'm saying? Used an old phone, not my main phone, played around with it. Every 24 hours, I would have to hit the mine button to continue to mine and earn Pi. She did the same. If I wasn't online, she could ping me. If she wasn't online, I could ping her, send her a little notification. She hit the mine button. We keep mining together, earning more Pi. So she earned Pi. And when Pi finally released, the price was pretty good. But guess what? They put a fucking wall in the way. What I mean by that is that you can't access your funds. You needed to do KYC. So they wanted your data, your Facebook account, your email, your phone number. Okay, so my sister did it. I was like, I don't really like that, sis, but she did it. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to do a dummy email, but I can't because guess what? Now they want my likeness. They want a picture, a video of me, a picture of my face, a picture of my face looking up, left, right, down. So you're capturing my identity and in so much detail. It's very concerning for privacy advocates. If for somebody else, it wouldn't be a big deal. You do this completion, whatever. The problem is, even after doing the KYC and doing all the steps to migrate from what they originally was to the open market or the mainnet wallet, her funds are still not there. It says available funds 0. It says that she has X amount, but available funds 0. Me, I'm stuck waiting in the 14-day time period to get access to my funds. I've been mining every day. I completed all the stupid steps that I don't really like because I think it's data mining our information and then selling it at the highest bidder. There's also a lot of ads that play on it the moment you interact with it. There's 2 different apps. There's the mining app Pi, and then there's the mining Pi browser, which is the one that holds your wallet. You either have to put in your seed phrase every time or unlock with biometrics. I find that very unsecure because if somebody is able to intercept your phone or clone it, they could see, maybe a keylogger, get your seed phrase for that. I also had somebody who apparently got access to my Pi account because I stopped using it, right? We were mining it well before it came out. You can see here the first date is March 20 of 2025. We were doing this a while ago. I forgot, like 2017, 2018. My sister was like, hey, check this out. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. So we accumulated. She did all the steps to get her Pi. It's not letting her get her Pi. I did all the steps to get my Pi. I'm stuck on this KYC process because during the downtime that I wasn't using the Pi network, I guess somebody gained access. A lot of people's accounts were compromised, and so somebody was in there changing the email was not mine, it was theirs. So I would go and change it, but I needed to change the password. But it forced me into having to use Facebook. So guess what? Now they got my Facebook data, baby. And guess who loves sharing data? Meta. Because they were able to keep changing the email and also keep changing the mainnet wallet. And this kept going on for weeks, and it was annoying. And you could report a compromised wallet, yada, yada, yada. It's going to take a long time for them to help you. Support sucks. And the transparency from the team, the overall Pi Network team, has been crap in my opinion. So whether or not you like it or you don't is irrelevant. I just want you to take home or to understand the experience is we supported the project early. My sister did. I just supported her. We can't even access the funds. We've been trying hard to access the funds the moment it launched. We missed out the opportunity at selling at $2.75, $2.80. And my sister could have made a decent amount of money to help out with her mortgage and bills. And now this price continues to drop. Somebody did try to pump it up to 65 cents this morning, down from 44 cents. And now here we are back down to 61 cents. I don't like the amount of data mining they're doing or data that they're gathering. It's a cool little app. I can see why people like it. The ads are consistent. It might get you. It's like a Temu situation where like it gets you in the app and then it gets you to buy something and then it gets you to spin the wheel and then it gets you to buy something else. It's like that, but you hit the mine button, you mine Pi every 24 hours. You got to do it. If your friends and referrals are not online, you can send them a notification. I can see why it could be appealing. But me and my sister are stuck. And what's even more disappointing is she could see the funds in her wallet. And when she went to go send, says funds unavailable or funds available 0. And then when she went back to the Pi browser, the mining one, or not the Pi browser, but the mining app, and she hit her wallet and clicked, mainnet, it took her back to Pi browser and logged her out. And she was like, I'm putting in my password, it's not working. I'm putting in my email, it's not working. I was like, damn. So now she's logged out of her account. She has her seed phrase backed up, but you got to log into the account in order to import the seed phrase. So some of these people that are like profusely like super Pi nerds made bank and did good. while others are having the struggle of their life. And a lot of people that were using these apps, I'll tell you what, weren't super technical. They just thought it was a fun little app that they heard about. They download, they hit a button, they mine, they earn some cryptocurrency, right? Well, my sister's getting screwed. I don't care about the pie that I have, but my sister's getting screwed. That was her experience. I'll let you do with it what you want. Son of a Tech updated the language that they use. Instead of calling it a pyramid scheme or something, I forgot what the word that they use, but they did update their language because Brandon Coin did a video, Son of a Tech did a reaction to a reaction, and then they kind of conversed, and then Son of a Tech updated his view, but the view is still the same. We think pi is going to continue to go down, and the community, as we can see here, is very upset, not only with the lack of transparency from the team, but the constant sell pressure, because it just keeps unlocking, right? People keep on getting more access to their pi, and they're able to sell. And people see the price go down, so they don't hang on to their pi. They want to keep selling. And they're going to keep selling. But it sucks that my sister had an opportunity here, and she tried so hard, and this could have helped her significantly, guys. And now she's stuck. And I'm stuck. So that's our experience. I don't know how many others are experiencing that. I probably would recommend not to get involved with this app because it's a bunch of data mining. It may not have anything malicious in it, but it's a bunch of data mining. Facebook, email, your actual face, phone number, but you guys do with that what you want. Anyways, Red Panda Mining is about to go live here any second now. I thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out with us. Let's see if Red Panda is live yet. I'm going to send you guys on over to there. And don't forget that we have a good video dropping on Wednesday with one of the content creators doing a giveaway. But again, you're going to have to watch to the end to find who that is and do what they instruct you to do on that video. All right? Yeah, Crypto Mikkel says they would not do the KYC process. So we're going to go ahead and watch some Crypto World while we wait for Red Panda Mining to go live. I appreciate every single one of you. Don't leave yet.
Bitcoin inches higher even after the global trade war escalates and stocks slide. The Senate Banking Committee advances two key pro-crypto nominations.
If you're going to leave, hit that like button.
The president of the Solana Foundation sits down with us to discuss institutional adoption of the network. Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Tanea McKeel. Crypto prices moving higher to end the week while stocks continue to crater following their worst day since 2020. As of noon Eastern, Bitcoin climbed 1% to just under $83,000. Ether inched higher by less than 1% to just under $1,800. And Solana's Sol token jumped nearly 4%. The moves higher come as crypto-focused stocks fell again after China retaliated against President Trump's sweeping tariffs. Despite recent market volatility, Bitcoin's price has been confined to the $80,000 to $90,000 range for most of the past month as investors take cues from the equities market without a crypto-specific catalyst. Taking a quick look at crypto-focused stocks, all are in the red as of noon, with Coinbase falling the most by more than 8%. For the week, Bitcoin is down by about 1% and is on pace for its fourth straight weekly loss for the first time since last July. Ether is down more than 4% for the week, on pace for back-to-back weekly losses and its sixth negative week in the past 7. Okay, let's talk about the top stories. President Trump's pick to run the SEC is one step closer to confirmation. The Senate Banking Committee voted yesterday to advance Paul Atkins, who's known to be a strong backer of crypto. The committee voted 13-11 to move forward with Atkins' nomination as SEC chair, along with another nominee with pro-crypto ties, Jonathan Gould, as U.S. controller of the currency. The vote followed party lines in the committee. Both nominees will now move to a vote by the overall Senate. During Atkins' opening testimony before committee last week, he said it would be his top priority to provide a regulatory foundation for digital assets and that he will work with commissioners and Congress to make that happen. Atkins would succeed Gary Gensler, whose notorious regulation by enforcement approach to crypto aggravated the industry. Next, CoinDesk reports that Illinois' Secretary of State plans to drop an ongoing staking lawsuit against Coinbase. That would make Illinois the fourth state to drop its staking case against the crypto exchange in recent months, following Vermont, Kentucky, and South Carolina. We reached out to the Illinois Secretary.
All right, I got another announcement. before Red Panda goes live. Where's Red? Is he still in bed? You still in bed, bro? So another announcement as we continue to wait for Red Panda to go live. We're almost near 30K. If you can share this with your grandma, your mom, your brother, your sister, your auntie, your dad, your uncle, I would greatly appreciate it. Helping like the videos and subscribing to the channel helps you get notified and lets me know that you like the video. I know you're not liking the videos because you don't like the content, but I can't make the latest and greatest content, the hottest TikToks, or cover the latest hardware, unfortunately, because I can't afford it. I'm doing the best I can. I'm in my fucking room, guys. I've been making content for over 13 years now. We're about to hit 30K. It would greatly help me to get to 30K, and to celebrate 30K, we will be doing a giveaway, but I will have a dedicated video on what I'm giving away and how to enter in the future, so stay tuned for that. But Wednesday, again, content creators join me in a little collab project. It's 35 minutes long. Please watch to the end because one of the content creators will be giving away something, and you just have to follow the instructions in that video to enter. The 30K giveaway will come in the future, and I will inform you once that happens. Stay tuned.
Of state about the comments to CoinDesk but haven't heard back yet. These state dismissals mirror moves on the federal level, with the SEC dropping its Coinbase lawsuit in February. The agency initially claimed the exchange failed to properly register its staking program. This week, we spoke with Coinbase's chief legal officer, Paul Graywall. He told us that the individual cases had no basis in law and that he's pleased to see both red and blue states are joining the SEC in recognizing that. Finally, Bitcoin-related startup deals surged as crypto prices rallied to record highs last year. A report from Trammell Venture Partners found the number of pre-seed transactions in the Bitcoin startup market rose 50% in 2024. The data shows that more entrepreneurs got into the Bitcoin arena despite a cautious funding environment for the broader tech startup world. Trammell's managing director attributed the renewed interest in building on blockchain to technical upgrades and increased confidence in Bitcoin's long-term resilience. Research firm PitchBook projects crypto venture funding will surpass $18 billion this year, nearly doubling the $9.9 billion average from the 2023 to the 2024 cycle. PitchBook expects greater institutional engagement from firms like BlackRock and Goldman Sachs to deepen investor trust and lead to further capital inflows. All right, for our main story, Crypto World's Mackenzie Sigalo sat down with Lily Liu, the president of the Solana Foundation, to discuss institutional adoption of the network, especially following last week's news that BlackRock expanded its blockchain-based money market fund to Solana after debuting on Ethereum last year. The two also discussed stablecoins on Solana and regulatory advancements for crypto in the U.S.
So BlackRock recently expanded its tokenized money market fund to Solana. What does this signify about the blockchain's expansion into institutional adoption and wider trends?
We're super excited about BlackRock bringing their BUIDL product, which is one of the flagship money market funds in the industry, to Solana. Look, Solana, we've been working on partnering with institutions for quite a while now, because I think that our vision for what blockchains are is that it should be global financial infrastructure that bring all of the assets available to people around the world that have access to the internet. And so that is something that we're super excited about, because BlackRock, household name, fantastic product, and being able to make that available to the world of people who are using on-chain DeFi.
Starts off with some heavy metal right there. All right, Red Panda is finally live, guys. Red Panda is finally live. I'm going to send you guys on over there right now to go hang out. But yeah, got a review, by the way. If you've noticed this little ad banner in the bottom left here, it's not really an ad banner, but it is an ad banner. Basically, you got a wallet review dropping tomorrow, Monday, and it is an affiliate link. So if you buy the wallet through the affiliate link, I get a kickback. But that banner, I just wanted to throw something up for the live stream. Need to improve my stream quality and some of the content, and I'm working on it, and I appreciate every single one of you, and I thank you for your support. So go head on over to Red Panda Mining, do me a favor on the way out, hit that like button, get subscribed, hit notification bell to stay up to date, as well as check out additional links in the description to help support the channel and what we do here. I had to go over to my parents like I do almost every Saturday. Help out Pops, help out Mom. Take care of yourselves, take care of your fam. I'll catch you